The concept of devolution of government has been adopted in most parts of the world as an international best practice in the attempt to promoting social and economic development by allowing proximate access to services as well as ensuring equitable sharing of national and local resources and general accountability. Upon its promulgation, the new constitution gave life to 47 new economic and administrative units. Although the constitution clearly spells out the role and functions of the county governments, its financing remains unclear, with many questions of how much is allocated per county, what are the priority projects, who manages the fund, and the project timeframes troubling the minds of Kenyans. I talked to the chairman of the Parliamentary Budget Committee, Elias Mbao, to try and understand the situation.
What are going to be the national priorities of a country? Moving forward, the national government will always, every year, begin by asking what are the manifestos of the government that is ruling or the party that is ruling. And once you know what are the manifestos on which you campaigned for in terms of achieving, and right now we have a long-term blueprint, the Vision 2030.
Article 203 of the 12th chapter of the new constitution spells that 15% of all national revenue raised shall be allocated to county governments. However, the exact amount allocated to each county is determined by the following considerations.
Now, this 15% will not be X out of 47. No, that is where the question of equity comes in. Because, for instance, a county like Murang'a, where I come from, have 1 million people. Okay? A county like Lamu County have about 100,000 and 2 members of parliament. Murang'a, 7 members of parliament. So the Commission on Revenue Allocation has to take into account all those issues.
Of great concern has been the issue of marginalized counties, a fact that triggered the creation of the Counties Equalization Fund.
Equalization Fund is going to be a kitty to attempt to bring everybody at some certain level at par for 20 years. After 20 years, there will be no equalization fund.
Last year's budget saw 30% allocated to development projects, while the lion's share, as usual, went to recurrent expenditure, while there is somewhat improvement in allocation to the development budget from 25% the year earlier. The process, heavily tilted towards recurrent expenditure, is likely to hurt the economy as it exposes it to inflationary pressures and a weakening of the shilling, according to analysts. On this, the Parliamentary Budget Committee proposes the Public Finance Management Bill due in August that will give priority to development projects. During the run-up to the national referendum in August last year, concern was raised on whether county governments will remit revenue back to the National Assembly, as there is currently no law that stipulates this, leaving county governments without an obligation to do so.
Unless the Public Financial Management Act spells that counties will also be supporting the national government. As of now, the Constitution has no provision that compels the counties to be supporting their mother. It is the mother that is supposed to be getting resources down to the counties.
One of the objectives of devolution has been the decentralization of state organs and services, with the cumbersome procurement procedures remaining the biggest hurdle, and about 140 billion shillings will return to Treasury and spent. However, this will be a challenge various committees managing the counties will have to contend with.
The budget that will and should have a provision will be the budget for 2012-2013.
For now, though, the budget estimates expected to be presented by Finance Minister before he presents the budget next week have no provisions for county governments because they take effect after the next general election. Enough time for the establishment of mechanisms to ensure this transition is seamless. Boni Tunya reporting for KTN on the state of the economy.